In a surprising development in the Trump election case, an Fulton County co-defendant Trevin Cutie of Georgia has proposed that District Attorney Fani Willis resign for her own sake. On Wednesday, February 21, Epoch Times reported that their commendation was made in the midst of claims that Willis had an inappropriate relationship with her special counsel Nathan Nadiu, and that she had used state funds for vacations during Willis' misconduct hearing on February 15. Macy, who was indicted on charges of witness intimidation and making false statements last year, spoke out. CI argued that Willis should have rested her case, citing the need to do so for her own sake. As Willis took the stand to testify, the atmosphere at the misconduct hearing became increasingly charged in an effort to disassociate Willis from the 20 involving former President Donald Trump. The claims of an improper relationship with Mr. Wade and the misappropriation of state funds have taken center stage when one of the witnesses testified that their relationship between Willis and Wade started sooner than stated. The hearing became very contentious, the couple need having been dating for longer than 2022, when Willis and Wade both admitted to being in relationship. Boo claimed it began after the district attorney's office hired Wade on another hand. The eyewitness testified that the romance began in 2019. There was a noticeable charge to the district attorney's testimony as he was cross-examined by an attorney wanted Willis removed from the Trump election case. Willis eventually held up papers and screamed, "It's a lie," in a blatant rejection of the earlier assertions the two men, Willis and Wade, identified using public monies for personal vacations, with Willis paying off Wade charges in cash and Wade using his credit card. An already contentious legal battle is further complicated by the call for Willis' recusal. There have been accusations of wrongdoing and heat arguments during the misconduct hearing, and the co-defendant's recommendation highlights how chaotic the case has been. The presiding judge described possibility of disqualifying Willis as follows: if evidence is produced demonstrating an actual conflict or the appearance of one, the efforts to navigate the complex web of accusation testimony and requests for recusal are keeping the spotlight on the Trump election case as the legal proceedings progress. Undoubtedly, these developments will determine how the case progresses and what consequences it has for the parties concerned. In the meantime, the ex-president is facing astronomical interest charges for every day that he fails to settle the $355 million civil fraud penalty that was assessed against him last week. Judge Arthur Engoron's ruling mandates that Trump pay 9% yearly interest, or nearly $90,000 per day, until the penalty is repaid in full, according to Raw Story's Wednesday, February 21 report, which cited multiple sources. The interest amounts to over $600,000 per week, according to News estimations, and about $187,500 per day, according to the New York Attorney General's office. The Associated Press calculated that interest payments alone could amount to $32 million over the course of a year. Engoron also ordered a $355 million base penalty against Trump and his business in response to claims that they misled investors and lenders about the worth of their assets. Also, Trump will not be able to run a company in New York for the next 3 years, according to Engoron decision. Interest payments keep piling up as the castor drags on, and Trump has already promised to appeal the decision. Trump is given a deadline of mid-March to either pay the fine or post a bond of the same amount. With the court judgment, creditors can start taking his assets if he doesn't pay by then. The same $88.3 million payment deadline applies to him and writer Ian Carroll, who filed a defamation lawsuit against Trump. The New York Daily News reports that Trump's options are now severely limited. Get ready for real trouble as creditors sting to enforce their judgments, trying to raise the money or petition in appellate court to reduce the bond requirement. The enormous interest costs will only increase Trump's legal expenses as he challenges the decision, according to Gregory Jareen, a bankruptcy expert at Syracuse University who spoke with the Daily News. An additional comment from Will Thomas, a law professor at the University of Michigan, was meta regarding the possibility that Trump might be obligated to pay interest both before and after a judgment if his appeal isn't successful. Interest acre at a rate of more than $80,000 per day, putting Trump under increasing financial pressure to resolve the judgment or watch his expenses skyrocket.